Hi, Tajci. Thank you for coming today. This is awesome.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here.
Could you start a little bit by talking about where you were born and what childhood was like for you?
Oh, so I'm from a little country called Croatia, which is between Italy and Austria in South Central Europe. And I started singing very young. You know, my dad was a singer, and my mom always sang me lullabies. My first memory of me was singing into my dad's microphone, and he was recording me on reel-to-reel. Now, Croatia is 20 years behind the world, so I'm not that old. And then at 4, I started performing, with big orchestras.
At 4?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, singing at 4 in front of an orchestra.
With an orchestra, yes.
Wow.
And the conductor. And then
in Croatian, is that okay?
Yes, it's a beautiful language.
Yeah.
And then at 6, I started attending. It's a music school, but it's really more like a conservatory. It's very formal training. So we had theory very early on, and I really just learned. And for me, it was a dedication. It was like I knew if I wanted to achieve this dream, I had to learn skills. And this was a part of my learning skills. And I loved it. And then as I was growing up, I had to stop performing to get to be more focused on school. 17, I started participating in grown-up, music events. So we had in Europe, we had these, what was called festivals, is not what's festival here.
Okay.
There it was more like American Idol would be here, or some were competitions, some were just reviews of these songs, and there were always beautifully produced TV shows for live broadcast. And they had children's nights, and then they had grown-ups. And so at 17, I got to do the grown-up night, and it was the first time in the history of that festival that a debutante, because I was a debutante.
Which, does that mean the same there as it does
here?
Yes,
like here I am presented as a grown-up singer, debutante. And then I won a third prize. All of this time I was at the music school, which I call conservatory. So that's,
So that's where you got your schooling, was in conservatory.
That's my formal training, yes.
Wow.
And then I got my stage training at the theater, Zagreb Youth Theater. So I was getting a lot of training, and then when I say work, I was actually out there doing shows, because you need training, you need experience. And I also sang with my dad's band during summers when school was out in summer resorts. So I got a lot of experience. Yes. And I was in Canada in '88. It was my first experience with a different world. And now it's really difficult to talk about it because we're so connected and there's no mysticism anymore about it. But then we were such two worlds, so different, so apart. The whole communism versus capitalism, East versus West, we were kind of caught in the middle of that. A friend of mine brought me to this shopping mall, and they had Studio 86 there, Be Your Own Star.
Oh,
Yeah.
Where you could record yourself?
Yes.
That's so funny.
And they brought me there, and as I recorded, 3 or 4 songs, the sound engineer was like, wow, who is she? Where did she come from? Because I sang Whitney Houston, I sang Tina Turner, I was like this. I had this huge, beautiful, trained and experienced voice. And I was only 18.
Oh, wow.
And they had something that was called, they picked the singer of the day, and then singer of the week, whoever was, best, and then singer of the month. And I became all of this within like 5 minutes. And as a prize, I got karaoke tapes, just tracks of the songs that I recorded. And I came home with those tracks, and I realized, hey, I have tracks. I can do a show. I can go to the clubs and perform. So I was always, creating my own opportunities where there was none, and just being courageous and did what I set to do.
Yeah. So you were in Canada, and then you went back to Croatia, and then how did you make your way out to America?
Well, there was still one step before I came to America, and that's where I became a superstar. I performed at so there's a Eurovision Song Contest.
Oh yeah, Eurovision, yeah.
That's the ultimate song competition.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
where all the European countries and now some others too send their best singers, their best songs that they picked. Each country picks.
Right.
And
each country picks their one.
Yes.
Wow.
So this was huge. And 1989, Berlin Wall fell.
Yep.
1990, here it is, Yugoslavian competition for the Eurovision Song Contest. And my record company sent me there because they thought I was the least competition to the guy that they wanted to win.
Oh,
okay. Because I was just this young girl that, was all over the place, just doing my own thing. And it was such an upset. I had like 100 and, I don't know, I had so many more points than the guy that was supposed to win.
Oh, wow.
And I'll tell you what happened. The song that I sing was well crafted. It was very simple, with a great catch, had a really easy, simple chorus, and, like very repetitive.
Yeah.
But it had a very optimistic message. Like you don't have to have a lot of money to be my guy. You don't have to be pretty. You just have to be kind. And then the chorus was, let's just go crazy and let's just, and I delivered this simple tune with such optimism, with so much joy. And I believe that people connected with that energy, with that something that I really felt was going right through me. And that was the reason. Everybody responded. Overnight, I became my country's biggest pop star ever. There's a term, Tajci mania, referring to Beatlemania. And then within months, I had a Tajci doll made in my likeness.
Oh, you should have brought it. That would have been great. Wow. Your world basically just turned upside down after one song.
Yes. All of a sudden, I had, tens of thousands of people in the audience that I could reach. I had millions of fans. And then I had letters from little girls that said, I want to be like you. And I remember I became more and more unhappy because I was becoming more and more that doll. The dolls are pretty, but the dolls, everybody else get to move their hands. And my manager decided what I had on. And the dolls are silent. And we always just have to smile and nod our head, right? And that just brought me to, okay, girls, if you nod your head and you smile and sing pretty, you're gonna do good. And I was just horrified because that's the biggest lie. You are worth more than your smile.
Right.
You're worth more. You should be allowed to break down, to show your pain, to show your insecurity, and be loved for it too.
Right.
Right. And also the other thing is that the war broke out in my country then. And somehow, like I was offered to go to a safe place, Austria or Switzerland or someplace to be safe. Why was my life more valuable than some child who was not famous?
Right.
I just couldn't accept that kind of privilege that came just because of what I did or how much money I made to other people.
Right.
So my pure intention, my desire, my everything all the reasons why I wanted to do music were irrelevant. I had a spiritual awakening then. A friend of mine helped me, and I literally heard a voice saying, leave everything behind and discover who you are, go back to that love.
The little girl, the joy.
Source of life, I did. I came to New York, I auditioned for American Musical and Dramatic Academy.
Oh, wow.
And just started a new life. And I literally didn't want to have any of that money, so I left everything at home. And I wanted to be a true immigrant story. I just came with 2 suitcases and said, hey, New York, I'm here.
So then you continued writing songs then at that point?
I actually wrote music when I was very little. And then around the age 15, 16, I submitted a song to a competition like this.
Okay, yeah, this is great, exactly.
Yes.
Gives you an opportunity to put your music out there.
Yes, and I was so courageous. I remember how just how scared I was. Because I was, up to then, I was writing songs with my boyfriend. I was writing songs that were very personal, my diary, and all these and my boyfriend and I would sing, and we were like, oh, this is the greatest song ever, and our friends were like, yeah, this is great. So I was very nervous submitting this song, and I didn't make it. And then because I knew some industry people, it came back to me that the song was not really good.
Oh.
So that was just very discouraging to me. So
that's hard to hear, yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't write. I wrote, but I never let anybody hear any of my stuff again.
That's too bad.
Yeah, until 10 years later. If you are a songwriter, don't let one failure discourage you.
That's right.
It's really not a failure.
No.
You submitting it is already your success.
That's right. And it's an opportunity to learn. And if you get encouraging feedback, then you know what you can work on and try again.
And my experience here in Nashville, and I appreciate good feedback, constructive criticism. There's nothing better for me than someone who knows, and even people that don't know. Anybody, just don't tell me how beautiful the song is. Tell me what I can do better.
Yeah. Well, do you want to play a little
Sure.
a song that you've
so
written? And
the first song that I wrote after I came out again, was it went a little bit like this. So I failed again, stumbled in the dark. No, it wasn't the jagged path. I can't blame anyone. The fault is all mine. Turn away from your light. I don't even know the reason why I feel too ashamed to cry. 'Cause you were there all the time when I tried to hide. You were there next to me all the while. You heard me cry and you cried with me. When I finally looked up, I saw you smile and heard you say, I love you, my child.
Aww,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, and so I just wrote it because I created another opportunity. I created a show, a one-woman show that I did wherever people would have it, and it was just kind of like my story, and so I needed songs to tell this story. Once my children were toddlers, and then I got into the age of everything is, saturation of kids and life and who am I and this identity crisis, So I wrote, I produced an album called Need a Break, and I have a lot of, and I wrote a song.
But a lot of women could relate to that.
Yeah, so it goes like this. I need a break, though I don't know from what, from raising my kids, watching them grow. I need a break from hanging up their coats, tying up their shoes, matching up their socks. 15 years seem like a blink of an eye. I've been happy being a mom, with all the soccer games and all the Christmas plays, all the homework done and the summer fun. So why do I feel lonely? Why am I afraid? What is this need inside that's driving me insane? I need a break.
It's awesome though how you use music to express what you're feeling, and I think that's something that you hear over and over again. Pro writers say is really you need to tap into what you know and what you're feeling, and use that instead of trying to be somebody else. Or so it seems like very authentic to you, and that's. probably healing too.
It is healing, but it's also, my definition of a hit song is the one that hits people.
Right, connects with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's always that connection,
Right.
And I love to record covers, and I love to work with other songwriters. But I'm very picky. Like, it really has to communicate, like what you said, a personal experience. So then it becomes healing and for the audience, for people. And I think if people write from that place, then it really, you can't experience failure.
Right, because you're just coming at it from a very authentic place and just being who you are. Yeah.
But I will say that, training is crucial. I am a little partial to, to knowing, to craft and skill. I love America. It's such a beautiful country for the opportunity, and that you can be anything and you can do everything. And I tell my kids, yes, you can do everything, but everything's on YouTube right now, so there's no excuse for not to get some training and skills.
Right,
and,
right. YouTube University, you can learn everything.
Yes, you can learn everything. So if you have talent, then do yourself a favor and bring that talent to a skill.
Right.
So you're skilled with that talent, so you can, and then you can connect into your emotion, and then it becomes a package.
That's good advice. That's really good. It sounds like you had to practice quite a bit. Like, you spent a lot of time practicing your skill. An incredible piano player and
and you know what? If I don't practice still after all those years, I feel it. I come on the stage in front of people and I go, "Oops, what was that chord again? I should have practiced that."
Do you have any parting words or anything that you'd like to?
What I want to say to your contestants and
and
everyone is, most important thing is to know who you are. Know who you are, and don't let anybody else tell you who you should be. Okay, know who you are. And yes, there are layers of things, work that you're going to have to do to get to that, the precious who you are. And then when you are that, you can use that, you can be secure and gift the world through your work. And we need you. We need you. The world needs you to inspire us, to heal us. So I'm just so excited what you're doing.
Yes,
and
well, thank you, and thank you so much for being a part of Music City Songstar and just sharing your message with everybody too. And good luck.
Kathy.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.